Now, usually I insult nerds because, well, you deserve it. I mean, you get excited when a video game releases new costumes for their characters. That is like a child playing dress up with their dolls. I mean, you just make it too easy. And when you make it too easy, I'm coming after you. But today is different because today, Miller and the PC plebs of the world unite to address the fact that The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy 15 aren't on PC. Because frankly, who cares? Let's start with the most obvious offender, which is clearly Final Fantasy 15. In development longer than I've been sculpting my glorious quads, it is still about floppy-haired teenagers who do not understand how life operates. I mean, not one of them goes to work, despite the fact the game goes on for approximately 789 hours. Imagine you didn't go to work at all. You just stopped going. I mean, nobody would care because you add nothing to society. But that is not the point. Are there any consequences for these schmucks? Absolutely not. Instead, they spend all their time preening themselves and taking selfies. Millennials. Also, one of them is called Prompto, which I can only imagine is a Spanish guy who's always on time. This isn't Final Fantasy 15's biggest faux pas though. That comes in the form of a car. If I'm a developer and I spend thousands of hours creating a new entry in what is considered a legendary franchise, and all I come up with is, let's put a car in it, well, I deserve to be fired. I don't mean from my job, I mean out of a cannon. Without a doubt, this is the most preposterous design decision in the last decade. To try and breathe new life into a franchise that's clearly well past its prime, Square Enix, which is a horrible name for anything by the way, what the hell is an Enix? It sounds like an electronic basketball team. Anyway, they had no other ideas other than adding in a convertible. That is the equivalent of putting Brum in there. In fact, Brum would be better, because he at least has a face and can talk. Think of that. A living, breathing automobile with thoughts and feelings. Incredible. What does the Final Fantasy 15 car have though? Nothing. And what safety checks have been carried out on this vehicle? Is the tyre pressure correct? Are you travelling at the optimum speed for steady fuel consumption? Has it even been MOT'd? Didn't think about that, did you? And neither did the developers of the game. Are you telling me that a game which will potentially sell millions of copies isn't teaching the youth of today about good car maintenance? That is appalling and a huge error on behalf of the company. I hope that car breaks down and everyone on it gets stuck in the desert, or wherever the hell the game is meant to be set. It's impossible to tell. It looks as generic as bread. Great work, Square Enix. You made bread, which has been around for centuries. Well done. You should all be very proud. Then, of course, is the issue of the fans. Final Fantasy 15 fans are a weird bunch because they get their knickers in a twist about anything. This time, they're annoyed because turn-based battles have been removed. Are you kidding me? That's like getting upset that you have to brush your teeth every day, which you don't do because you are disgusting. Let's pretend for a second that games aren't fake nonsense and are actually real, as stupid as that is. How would you like it if your own life was turn-based? Think how long your commute would be. You'd take a step forward, and then you'd have to wait for another moron to take their step forward before you could take another step forward. And then you take yours, and then they take theirs, and then you take yours, and then they take theirs. And this goes on for a horrendous amount of time until you've decided that you want to end your own existence. And then guess what happens? You get to work, but realise you've got to go straight home because the damn thing takes so long. It's called evolution, dingus. You want the next Total War game just to be Pong because that represents the pinnacle of an era? Two armies battling over table tennis supremacy. Nonsense. Besides, Pong was terrible then and it's terrible now. Just like Final Fantasy. Then of course, we have The Last Guardian. Now I looked up The Last Guardian, and do you know what it's all about? It's about an unrealistic dog and his infant best friend. What? That is on the same level as a children's story. Puppy gets really big before helping save the world with his mate, Who's a Kid. That is something that Roald Dahl would have written. Or one of those weird movies on Netflix where a cat joins the Australian football team and they all go out together and win the World Cup. A cat cannot do an overhead kick, and a giant dog ain't saving nothing. And once again, how long did this joke take to get to us? It took NASA less time to send a drone to Mars. Let's break this down for a second. On the one hand, incredible technology seeking out new worlds, a global news story, and a triumph that will be remembered for years. On the other, lazy developer makes game about oversized mutt. You see the problem here, right? And why no one needs to care about these games not coming to the PC. They are rubbish, plain and simple. We don't need this drivel, we don't want this drivel, and quite frankly, both are insulting to the human race. I plan to make both illegal as soon as the time is right. I mean, I also plan to do that with Dota 2, a game about clicking your mouse, but first come, first served. So take what I've said, embrace it, understand it, and make sure it doesn't happen again. This was the Miller Rapport, and I will see you soon. Now don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Miller Rapport episodes in the future, and then like, share, and leave a comment below.